Hi, it's recording now, so I'm going to go. My name is Katie. I'm a film student. I took this class because I'm a woman and I'm a film student and I'm pursuing a film career, so I thought that this would be interesting and something I could relate to, if not something that could give me an open mind as I pursue my future in film. Um, so the director that I chose was Catherine Hardwicke. After doing some research on different directors, I realized that Catherine um, was the director of one of my favorite movies, Lords of Dogtown. So that's why I chose her. Anyways, a little bit about Catherine. She actually went to school in Texas and studied architecture, and then went on to design a first solar townhome. So she had a little bit of an art background from the get-go, but she eventually realized that her real passion was in film. So she then went out to UCLA to study film studies a little more, where she then uh, produced and wrote, directed her first short film that was an animated piece that actually went on to win the Nissan Focus Award, which in film school can be a really big deal to win an award. It can kind of put you on the map. From that moment on, she went on to be the production designer on over 20 motion pictures, including Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise and Tombstone. Um, After that, she got her foot in the door, and she decided that she wanted to direct and kind of make her way to the top and be the overall creative mind behind everything. So she, at the time, met somebody, and his daughter was going through a lot. So she met this young woman, and they wrote a screenplay together. The screenplay was about her. Um, the daughter's childhood, and it ended up being the movie 13, which wound up winning Catherine the Director's Award at Sundance. So that put her on the map. From that point on, she went on to direct Twilight. She directed Lords of Dogtown, my favorite movie, and she also directed this movie Plush that I just recently watched, which was interesting as well. Um, Moving into my main point about technique, um, one thing that I notice in particularly that Catherine likes to use in most of her movies, this is the most obvious technique that stuck out to me, is the color correction in her movies. Um, every single movie that I've seen of hers is color corrected in a very similar way, with dark tones, kind of really high contrast. Um, and it's really visually appealing. Not only that, but I believe that she does this to create kind of a dark ambiance. If something was overexposed, for example, it might seem kind of angelic, and I think she kind of underexposes all of her films to kind of create that deep emotional kind of feeling visually. Another thing that I noticed about a lot of her films and the way that they're edited is she uses a lot of quick jump cuts, and there's a lot of movement from time to time in her films. A lot of similar camera movements from film to film, with quick pans and then a cut to whatever we're looking at, and then back to the subject and what they're chasing. And I think that she does this to create anxiety and kind of thrill while you're watching it. The more movement you see, the more anxious you tend to feel. Another common theme I really noticed in her pieces, in every single movie I watched, which was 13, Lords of Dogtown, and Plush, drug abuse was really heavily played upon in her films. Also, common theme was young people, teens to 20s, and it really played on, her movies play on human emotion and just um, struggles as a young person. Also, she plays on jealousy a lot. So, for instance, Tracy and Evie in 13 when it comes to the boy that they're fighting over. Stacy and Tony in Lords of Dogtown when they're kind of competing as the two biggest guys that are both signed with different skateboard companies competing to be the best. And then you have Enzo in Plush, who's just this super obsessive fan from um, the main character Haley's past. Um, so I think that's interesting, which leads me to main point 3 about Catherine and her feminism. I think that as a woman, film director, she loves to play on emotion, and I think that it can be seen as feminism because a lot of the times male directors don't like to play too much on emotion or show that kind of sensitivity, and if they do, in a sense, most men don't necessarily struggle, and when they do struggle they kind of come out on top, whereas in Lords of Dogtown, you know, Tony, he struggled and he totally um, lost everything that he had, and it was just very real piece. When we're talking about, for instance, Haley, there was a lot of really heavy emotion going on there with her family and with the obsessive new band partner, and then back to Tracy and Evie. So, anyways, I really enjoyed studying Catherine. I think she's a really amazing director. I think that for the most part, I could say that she's made it, and I would say that um, she brings a lot of realism to most of her films. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed my video blog, and you have a wonderful day.